Hello and welcome out to this episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, David Anthony. WebDave is my gamer tab. A lot of people call me WebDave, so that's cool. You can call me Dave, you can call me Fat Guy, whatever it takes. I'm here with the one and only Scrub Nurse. Scrub Nurse, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing great, man. Thank you for having me on. Get ready to have a good Sunday. We did a little
Yes.
podcasting this morning, and
Yes, you've been busy.
so for the folks in the future, this is Super Bowl Sunday, so this is going to be a
Yeah.
good little chat, and then we'll have some more fun tonight. Thanks for having me.
There you go. By the time they see this, they'll know the outcome. But right now
That's
we're in
right.
the dark. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I've seen you on several different podcasts, obviously at the Good Morning Xbox. I believe you did that this morning, right? Already.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
We
then
did our 2 hours this morning.
there you go. Gaming Beyond the Box. Is that I might take a hiatus tonight, maybe because the
Yeah,
Super
yeah,
Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah,
No show tonight for Super
I don't
Bowl.
blame
Yeah,
you. I
definitely
don't
no
blame you.
shot. But usually yes, Sunday
Yes.
nights.
That's great. That's great. All right, cool. All right, well, Scrub Nurse, let's get into. I guess start off with or get your early jobs you've had or career that you started off or education maybe that you got. Tell us a little bit
Mm-hmm.
about Scrub Nurse.
Oh yeah. Well, let me think. My very first job where I got a W-2, got that paycheck. That would
Yeah.
be I worked in the mall, like a lot of people did. Working at the cookie company, so slinging cookies all day long and
Oh yeah.
making cookies and asking people if they want a sample, all those good things. So yeah,
Nice.
I've done a little of those retail, worked at little assistant jobs at a grocery store. A throwback to some people who, I mean, most of our viewers might will know about this, but I know some younger people won't. I used to work at a video store, Hollywood Video, long time ago
Nice.
when they were still doing VHSs. So
Yeah.
if that dates me a little bit.
My wife did
So
part time there as well. So yeah, I know the feeling right there.
so yeah, getting all the Dropbox videos and then taking it inside. And we had a back wall just full of rewinders that we'd sit and do and then put back on the shelf. And then right when it started switching over to DVDs is when everything started to fall apart. But yeah,
Yep.
so I've had some good little jobs and trying to just get me through college. So
Yeah.
get to my main goal of nursing. So I'm glad to have those jobs. They kind of formed me to who I am now. But yeah,
Right.
um, that's kind of the title. That's where scrub nurse comes from. A lot of people go, "Oh, scrub nurse, what kind of this?" Especially when I'm gaming. A lot of people,
Uh
"Oh,
huh.
of course, are you a girl?" Or every now and then, yeah, because
And just because you're the title of a nurse does not mean male or female. It
that's
is a
right.
hard
And
job, no matter who
yeah,
you are.
so every now and then I'll get someone. Oh, are you a real scrub nurse? And yes. So a scrub nurse is basically one of the nurses in the operating room that actually scrubs in. That's where scrub part comes in.
Hmm.
So when you're watching these different TV shows and they're scrubbing their arms and hands and they're walking in and then they
Hmm.
gown and glove and get masked up and they're actually helping the surgeon in the case. They'll scalpel or
Right.
this or depending on the surgeon you work with, you're actually help assisting them perform the surgery. So um, I worked with a neurosurgeon. I was his first assist for 7 years. So
Wow.
did everything from removing brain tumors, neck fusions, lumbar, lower back fusions, different things of that nature. So I was part of the neuro team and then orthopedic team. So I've done about every replacement you can do: hip, shoulder, knees,
That's
um,
amazing.
broken bones, all
Yeah.
those different things. So yeah, surgery. I did that for about a good 10 years, and I loved it.
Wow.
Still do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, that's awesome, man. And thank you for that hard work. Cause I mean, that's people's lives in their hand or, i- if they get through it good, then, the recovery and all that kind of stuff. But if it doesn't
Right.
go right in surgery, then there may not be a good road to recovery or things may go
Mm-hmm.
wrong. So that's fantastic, man. That's
Yeah.
10
Yep.
years. That's a long time. I mean, it's got to be. I'm sure it's stressful, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, there's a lot of burnout. Usually, the average stay, people might bounce around, but usually the average stay is maybe about 3 years in one place in that one spot. So,
mhm.
yeah, so I was there at that one hospital 10 years, and now I work with the state with organ donation. So
Oh,
I
that's
still do
awesome.
hospital stuff, but help with organ and transplantation. So I was
That's
doing
so
good.
cool, dude. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's amazing, man. I mean, it really is. When you're like, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I'll play games, or I'll work at a bank, or I do," but I mean, that's, I mean, let's face it, you're getting your hands in there, in the
Yeah,
body and
literal
helping
blood and
out.
guts. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, and that's somebody's life in your hands. That's amazing. That's
Mhm.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Very cool, man. Very cool. Very, very, very good. I'm excited for that, man. That's cool. And I don't know if you saw it or not, but when you started talking about the neck fusion, I was like, "Mop, I wanted to pop my neck so bad." I was like, "I don't know why it made me do that," but
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you start
reflex.
thinking about it. That's right, that's
Yeah,
right.
exactly, exactly. So I guess from there, I mean, and that's cool. So you're able to keep that as, I guess, that's your, like, your gamer tag, that's your gamer handle. That's what you go by with
Yeah,
the
because
gaming.
as everybody knows, especially
Mhm.
the longer a platform is, how hard it is to, get a gamer tag.
Yep.
So, I mean, I tried to type in every nickname ever created under the sun and not already taken. Tried to use my real name with my last name.
Mhm.
Tried to use all it, and because with me in school and everything, there was a gap when Xbox first started. So I came in at the 360 generation.
Mm, mhm.
So I had to fight all the gamer tags who were already started with the original Xbox. So
Yeah.
I said, well, let me just type in my profession, and boom, it worked. I said, I'll take it. I'm not changing it.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, it's a good one, man. It really is.
Hmm.
I like it a lot because it's like straight to the point, and I mean, mine being WebDave, it at the time when it came out,
Hmm.
because I was a beta tester, I worked at GameStop at the time, and
Hmm.
managers were blessed to get into the program automatically, so that was kind of cool. But but yeah, the I was just like, web, web, that's the internet. My name's Dave, Dave, Web Dave. That's good. Let's put those. And but boy, I've had, and I've been blessed to be able to get it on every platform, every different, Sony, PlayStation, all that stuff is still that way too. Every now and again, I'll have to, for whatever business or something comes up, I want to log into, and they'll create a thing, and they'll be like, "Oh, WebDave 2, okay." I'll have to do that, but
Yeah,
I'm
it
right there with
definitely
you.
happens.
It does, it
Hmm.
does, it does. But yeah, it's cool, man. That's very cool. So I guess let's go from there. Let's talk about, I guess, how you got into gaming. I mean, was the 360 your first console, or did you start before that, or was it console, arcades, PC?
Oh, definitely arcades.
Nice.
First thing I got my hands on was next door. My cousin, she had an Atari, so I would sneak over there. That's 4 years old, going over there playing Pong or Q*bert or different things of that nature. But first thing we had in our house is the Commodore 64. And on there I was on floppy disk, so I was playing, you
Nice.
know, Buck Rogers, different things of that nature, and we did what we could at the time,
Mhm.
and then I progressed on to the original Nintendo. Um, I played so many sports, uh,
Mhm.
football, baseball,
Yeah.
ran track, and then my parents were hardcore about grades.
Right.
Everything was get your grades done. You're already going all day with sports. Um, we'll finally get you a Nintendo. We got you a Nintendo, but we will not buy you any games.
Hmm.
So it was like cut the grass, mow the lawn, you
Right.
know, wash dishes, iron clothes, and then that was a way to get games. But you're getting $5 to mow the lawn. It takes a while when you want to
It
get a
does.
Ninja Turtles game. That was $45, $50
Yep.
back then. So I had a couple of games. I was fortunate to be able to have some games, but I wasn't one of those kids that had every console ever created. I
Right.
mean, I even had that Nintendo all the way up through college. Um, I was the best friend. A lot of people who were like, "Oh man, I would have sleepover, or my friend in the neighborhood, they would come over, we'd play games."
Mhm.
That's what I would. Oh, you have such and such. Oh yeah, I'll come over there and go to cousin's house or something. They have the SNES, and we would play Turtles in Time or something
Yeah.
like that, and beat that on co-op, things of
Nice.
that nature. But there's a big skip, like I said, you got to think too, with playing sports all through the year, if
Mhm.
one baseball bat for one season might be $200, $300,
Wow.
cleats. So you're doing that. And then you go to the next sport,
Mhm.
running track. And I
Yeah.
ran track for my school, middle school, elementary, but then I did travel, kind of like with travel baseball, that track we ran
Mhm.
Oklahoma, Texas. Sometimes we would drive all the way to Florida, and I run track all during the summer, and
That's
then start
cool.
back up football, helmets. So most money was not put aside for games at all. So like I
Understandable.
said, high school, college, I had some of my best friends that they had everything. They had the GameCube, they had the PlayStations,
Mhm.
they all the good stuff, the Genesis, that nature. So that's what we do, especially in college. We would sit and hang out, you know, playing fighting games, shooting games. My One of my best friends, still to this day, he's big time PlayStation guy. So we play SOCOM. We would play Marvel versus Capcom. We'd have those different tournaments of that nature as well. But as far as me just really getting into video games, like I'm locking down, I'm going to start playing video games where
Mhm.
is is coming out of nursing school, finishing up, and at the time I was about to get set up to be all right. I'm stable, so I had a big chunk of money that I was saving up for something else. It
Mhm.
kind of fell through, so I had enough money where it just was sitting in my pocket. Now all of a sudden I got enough money for 360, two controllers. I'm going to buy Halo gears and all of this stuff now.
Nice.
360 era wasn't the first time I played Halo. I did have a PC through college, so Halo was on PC.
Mhm.
Hitman, Fear, different things of that nature. I first started with mouse and keyboard, and I have lost all those skills now. I'm pretty much controller only.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but 360 was a generation where I really jumped in and started to play games as much as I could when I had the time.
Sure, sure, sure. Well,
Mhm.
and I mean, who could blame you? I mean, especially, when you're, I mean, as working as hard as you do, because you really have to be dedicated to
Right,
get through school to become a nurse. I mean, it's not, you can't, how can I say, you can't half-ass it. You have to be serious about it.
right,
Even though it's
right,
nice
right.
to be able to play and stuff, but it's kind of nice too that once you got to that status that you're able to, step back a little bit, kind of do things you enjoy, you know. So, then that's nice. It's fun. It's nice.
Hmm.
It's a nice escape. Games are for
Yes,
sure. So,
and if that wasn't an escape, I also had the escape that's sitting right behind you in the background,
oh
and
yeah,
that's drums. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yes, yes, yes,
I see
yes,
that
yes, yes.
electric set back there.
I
What's that?
do.
A Roland
That was actually a Simmons. Yeah. Yep.
Simmons? Okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah. I've
cool.
I've had a bunch of drums. Yeah,
I
and
understand. There's a
yeah.
lot of money that goes into that as well.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm with you. I am not in shape like I used to. I probably should actually be playing more to stay in shape. I used to be in really
Right.
good shape and had some decent chops and had a lot of fun. But yeah, and I noticed like on your page, your Twitter page, it's got I guess it's got the drum set up there with the red
Yes,
heads.
yes.
That's nice. It's very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, those my babies right there. Those are some Orange County drum percussion set.
Wow,
I've had
very
that for
cool.
about 11 years. Yeah, it's
That's awesome. That's
nice six
awesome.
Nice 5-piece set.
I, I love acoustic and would much rather have acoustic, and I've had a bunch of acoustic sets over the years. Started playing when I was, oh my gosh, fifth grade is when I started. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then of course, it's a little snare, and then work your way up to a drum set and stuff. But the last, I guess, 7, 8 years, I guess, um, I would play in my garage, my old house, and we had a dog that just you start as soon as you start pounding, man, it would just terrify him. And I was like, I can't do this to the dog. So I sold the set and got to like, put headphones on. And I can just rock out and have a good time
That's
and
right.
it not
That's
bother
right.
him at all. So,
Mm-hmm.
one of those things where it's like I'd rather have the puppy happy and not terrified.
That's
you
right.
know. So, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's great, man. That's awesome. So you play in bands or play for fun, recreation, or did you any of
I,
that
I
kind of
do
stuff?
a I do a mix. I started maybe when I was about 8,
Hmm.
self-taught, but I've had some just straight gigs, or I've been at a couple of bars where I was their house drummer for
Awesome.
the night. They would have open nights
Hmm.
and the band. So but just in case nobody shows up, you got to have somebody to play music. So you'd have a
Yeah,
house band that would play maybe the first hour or so, and then we would
that's
have
cool.
different people. If they came in, they would come get up on stage, switch out and play. And I did that religiously for years. Kind of died down with COVID.
Right.
I've had other bands where it wasn't in a touring state, just played around
Yeah.
town and neighboring areas, and did that for maybe about 8 or 9 years while I was playing at this other bar too. So I've had the life where it was like, oh man, I'm playing 3 or 4 gigs a week, but
That's
it's
cool.
more, it's a lot more tamed down now.
Right.
Um, those things, like I said, when you have expensive hobbies and hobbies that take a lot of time for you,
Yeah.
one thing's gonna suffer versus the other. So there's been times where it was all video games, been times where it was all drums, and so
Right.
you know there are gaps in video game repertoire sometimes. Like, you never got to that. I was like, no man, that part of my life I was doing this and this. So no,
Yeah.
uh, it's good to have back and pat too. um
Oh,
in
definitely.
some of these games systems, to be able to, and some of these remasters.
Well, and it's also good that to be able to uh I guess kind of diversify your mind a little bit, you know what I mean? To not only
Hmm.
just be focused on one thing, but to be able to go different directions because to me, it seems that's a good sign of creativity as well too. That to be able to do multiple type, like I said, I loved playing drums. I
Hmm.
loved it, loved it, loved it. And then from there actually for about 2 years I ended up going on a tour with a road band, but I wasn't their drummer because I was a drummer and was, obviously keep the beat and everything. They had a big light
Hmm.
show and I ran their light show for 2 years.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
That's where I met my first wife. Long
Hmm.
story. We'll go get not today. But 'cause that was one of the things they were like, oh man, you're really good at this. I was like, well, it's just a tempo to me. It's kind of easy
Right.
because a lot of songs I knew and I kind of knew what was coming and how to set the mood
Hmm.
for it, kind of thing. So a lot of things can lead into stuff. But yeah, but drums
That's right.
for me, I need to get back into it because it's good exercise. Always good to play.
Definitely
Good to keep
exercise.
the joints nimber for for playing games and stuff too. So yeah.
Hmm.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That is awesome. Like I said, I saw the picture of your drum kit. That's pretty cool. So
Thank you.
yeah, I like that. I got I have another podcast that I do sometimes, and I've interviewed a couple of drummers on there, and then I was growing up. We had I actually took. This is not like I wasn't like an understudy or anything like that, but I actually got to take 3 lessons, personal lessons from Kenny Arnoff, who was the drummer for John Cougar Mellencamp.
Hmm.
And oh
Hmm.
my god, he is so good. So good. I'm not saying I'm on his level because I'm not, but I'm just saying, but to be able to sit with somebody like that, a master, and be able to just because he was cool. He was very patient and very would work with you, not just you know do this. do this, kind of thing. So that was
Right,
kind of neat.
right.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, those the old days. So from there, I guess with your gaming, I guess, and you've gotten into the newer systems.
Right.
And so what are you? I mean, what? How can I say this? Are you into like all three of the main systems, or are you centric now on one or the other?
I mainly play 90% plus games I'm gonna play on Xbox, and I'm on the Series X.
Same here.
My daughter, she has the S upstairs,
Nice.
so those are mainly what I'm going to play on because it just makes it convenient. I'm at one place and I have friends that I have there.
Right.
I like the ecosystem, and then a lot of the multiplayer stuff now, since it's crossplay,
Yes.
um, has been enabled on a lot of games. It has made it easier because there's been lots of times where, oh yeah, I'm playing the Division. I have the $100 package on the Xbox and
Yeah.
one, and then I also have it on PS4 to play with different friends. Same thing with Destiny,
Mhm.
and it used to make it hard to buy things twice, or you would just
Right.
say to friends on one system versus other, "Well, I'm just not gonna play with you at all because
Right.
I don't wanna buy everything twice." It
Yeah.
just makes it hard. So for them to now starting to implement that, I'm thankful. But I also have the PS4. Um, Eventually I'll get to the 5, but I was it's like I'm not breaking my neck to when it first came out and it was
Mhm.
just hard to get one. I'll say I just
Right.
wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. A lot of those games, anyway, like, like your Horizons, your God of War, your Spider Mans, like they're still gonna be there.
Yes, they
I
are.
think a lot of times, especially with people who are doing podcasts or different things of that nature, it's well, I gotta play because everybody's expecting me to play and they want to
Right.
hear what I think about it.
Mhm.
Um, so if I always believe if there's a game that I don't play or I'm not interested, just be upfront with it. I don't
Yeah.
play it. I'm not interested. And then if I want to get to it eventually down the road, I will.
Oh,
As
cool.
far as the Switch, I think it's a great product. It's just not for me as
Right.
far as
Yeah.
most of the games. Zelda looks great. Breath of the Wild. It's more of the open world, which I like. I will play an open world game. I will play some, but
Mhm.
with my time, you know, playing music, working, doing this, spend time with family. It's a lot of times it's a lot easier to get into something multiplayer because you can go around 10 minutes,
Mm.
15 minutes, and boom,
Mhm.
you can go back to what you need to do and not get sucked into a world that takes you, 30, 40, 60 hours
Mhm.
or longer, depending on how much you put into it. And
Right.
you just, that's why MMOs are hard to get into for me, RPGs.
Yep.
Now, there are some that I will play, and it's like, this is it. I love it.
Yep.
Cyberpunk 2077. That
Beautiful
was my,
game.
yes, the patch version.
Mhm.
Was that the 1.65 version that they
Yeah.
finally did for next gen?
Yep.
Oh man, that was chef's kiss. So there will be games where I'll put hours and hours and hours, but
Mhm.
it's usually the competitive multiplayer stuff that I do more than anything.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. And,
Hmm.
like I always tell people, it's like I can't play them all. And
Right.
sometimes it's people are like, "Well, your gamer score is not very big. I thought as much as you like, yeah, I love playing games. I love games, but
I'm
I do
glad you
play on other
brought that up.
devices." I do do
I
go
hate
ahead.
gamer score.
I
I
do,
hate
yeah.
gamer score.
Yeah, yeah.
It is overinflated. It is
Yep.
not a true representation of anyone. You can't tell me
Right.
somebody who plays Destiny 24/7 is not a big enough gamer as somebody else because one has a gamer score of 40,000 and the other person has a game score of 200,000.
Right.
It's not the same. Um, but then you look at the combined hours of their Destiny play, and you go, oh wow, this dude has not hours, not days, not weeks, but months worth.
Yeah.
You know, 24 weeks in the Destiny 2, and it's like, okay, this guy is really a person that plays. So I think it's misleading for
Very
people
much
to
so.
stick their chest out. And I mean, you can play a bunch of 10-minute games, spend $5 on them, and get 1,000 gamer score, and
Yeah.
beat 15 games on a Saturday if you wanted to. And
Yep.
I don't think that shows your prowess as a gamer, when a
Right.
lot of those you're just clicking Y and listen to a 10-minute story and get 1,000 gamer score. So I
Exactly.
don't. Yeah, I tell people, do not let that bother you at all. If anybody tells you you're not a gamer because your game score, the as the people, it's just they're only saying that to make themselves sound better than the other person. That's all.
Exactly, exactly. Good advice. I like that because that's so true, man. So true. Because there's a lot of people out there that just, they're either I don't know if it's the diehard fanboy, have no life, and this is all they can cling to kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and in the world of Twitter, people have to show how good they are, how big they are, or you have to prove this for anybody to listen, or
Right.
to show what kind of worth your words have.
Yeah.
If you got the time to play all those games and get that high, I'm happy for you.
Nice.
Everybody is not able to do that, but even then, I play Call of Duty every week, no matter
Nice.
what week it is, unless
Mhm.
I'm not at home for a whole week. But I have other games that I play, but Call of Duty is going to be one of those. You play a story for Call of Duty unless you're trying to get all the Easter eggs. That's another thing. I don't believe in 100% in games
Mhm.
either. So some
Yeah.
people might say, I don't want to listen to this guy. Well, but
No, it's all
it's
good.
it's it's good and fun if that's what you want to do. But a lot of times it counts for replaying games that you've
Mhm.
already played, doing it multiple times, or spending hours on hours just to jump over some one little hole to get to some secret crawl space. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't have to. I played the story, I enjoyed the story, I had fun. Like in case of Call of Duty, your story's 6 hours, maybe a little bit closer to 10, whatever it is.
Mhm.
And then you play the multiplayer. So
Yeah.
um, 100% to get the 1,000 gamer score. I applaud everybody who attempts it or who loves doing it, but I don't have the time for it.
Right, right, and
Yeah.
I like that. I like your perspective on it. It's like, hey, if it's good for you, go for it, but don't come at me because I don't. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
that's that's
Right. Right.
that's and seriously, and anybody that does is kind of like you said, little sad. Now there are
Yeah.
people out there that like to rib their friends and joke around. That's different.
That's different. That's totally different.
Exactly,
But yeah,
exactly.
we don't want to push people out of the community
Right.
because this versus that, and say you can't be a part, and you miss out on some great people, some great voices out there. So
Exactly, and and that's one of the reasons why I do this is because I want people to get to know, and to maybe I guess be turned on to somebody that they never would have met otherwise, or never maybe run across, and by
hmm.
watching these series. Because, like I said, I think you're a great member of the community. Like I said, I've
Thank you.
watched
Thank
several
you.
podcasts that you're on, and you've always got a really good viewpoint. And like we were talking just a few seconds ago, it's you're very, I guess, open and understanding, and gaming is for everybody. Let's make it for everybody. Let's,
Right.
so, and I think that's great. So that's cool, man. That's very cool. So
Yeah. Thank you.
no, no, man. Thank you. All right. So from there, let's talk about you getting into podcasting. How did that come about for you? I mean, are you watching some channels and then things pop up, or did you start your own channel? How did it come about?
Yeah. Well, me watching it really popped up most the job that I had before where I'm at now. I could
Hmm.
sit at my desk, and there was just, I had multiple screens, and I was
Hmm.
listening to podcasts. Just I'd have playing in the background. I
Yeah.
have something to listen to, and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying, it might be a breakdown of the last TV show I watched, or
Right.
somebody's doing an essay on ancient Mesopotamia or something. So whatever I thought was interesting at the time, I
Okay.
just had it playing in the background. And you know how the algorithm starts. It'll start, hey, you like this, or I might have watched the gameplay of whatever, whatever. So then it starts showing podcasts, different Xbox podcasts. So some of the stuff that I would, that first popped up would be like RDX podcast with Dealer, and I think at the time, Breakfast with Boom and was on, and then you had like Sunday morning, you had Mooch and Crap Gamer had their podcast on Sunday mornings, and I would listen to that while I was getting ready for work, things of this nature. And I
Mhm.
was like, okay, which was definitely late to the game. I didn't really wasn't doing that till maybe what about 5 or 6 years ago,
Hmm.
maybe 2016, and I would just listen, and every now and then I type in a message or hey, great guy show,
Mhm.
whatever, hit the like button, but it wasn't something I could really interact to because, of course, working. Um,
Mhm.
and then from then I would see stuff like the Iron Lords podcast.
Oh yeah.
When I saw the Iron Lord podcast, and these guys are so funny, and I just appreciate what they do, and then especially when you're in a media and you're looking at things and you see people who look like you, and then you're like, okay, it kind of gives you that inspiration of I could do this. I mean, I talk for a living anyway in front of people. I have to give in services. I have to be on camera for
Right.
meetings and things of this nature, um, and then be face to face. So it's like, well, a camera, that's that's not scary at all. If you're used to being in front of, being a musician and playing in front of thousands of people,
Right.
I always like to say all musicians have egos because nobody gets on the stage and goes, "All right, everybody, be quiet and look up here at me. Listen to what I'm about
Yeah.
to do."
Yeah.
So, so that plays into it a little bit too. I was like, "Oh, I can do this," but there was nothing where, oh, let me see what my next step is going to be. And then one of these days, I was just on Twitter, and Noof Nukem just sent me a DM, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Well, I don't know Noof from, you know, a whole lot other than I've seen him in other people's
Yeah.
podcasts, and more than likely I've seen him in the chat with a lot of people have seen me just in other people's chat
Mhm.
um, for multiple years. Scrub nurses in the chat, blah 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 blah. And so
Awesome.
I was like, well, why would he think I'd be? And then he was like, well, man, I like the stuff that you put in the chat. You seem like you're interesting, and this, and then talking in the back channels before. And I was like, well, you know what? I can't do this. I've been saying I could probably do this, but here's a chance that's popped up, and me and my wife, we were in the um, right at the time of we're trying to blend two households and then build a house and move. So it's like, if you're willing to give me like an extra month or so until we're into this brand new house, and I can have all my equipment ordered, put together, and watch 1,500 YouTube channels how to make all this stuff work.
Yeah.
Um, I'm in. So he was gracious enough, and everybody on the podcast was willing to wait that one like a month ago, or and almost it might almost been 2 months
Wow.
for me to get into the new house and settled. And then we did one of those like quick run throughs, with no audience to see how it worked, and then
Mhm.
it just started from there. And I just appreciate how it's going so far. I've been enjoying it. It's just like anything else. It's you and your best friends. If that's what it feels like,
Yeah.
back in college days, talking about what's your favorite comic book or
Mhm.
who's this or the new movie that's coming out. Just sitting, hanging out with your buddies. So I've been really enjoying it. This is just as you get older, there's there's no more sports, there's no more competition like that because your body can't handle it. And um, especially with people get older, they move away, they're across the
Mhm.
country, all these different things. This is
Yeah.
just something to do, to fill in that space of I need a hobby to do and something that I like. So that's how I started it. But
Yeah.
there's so many good podcasts out there, especially when there's so many, it's kind of hard to choose from. But
Sure, sure.
if you're doing it for the love, the fun, I think anything else that you're wanting to do with it will come. And if it doesn't, you're doing it for the love, for the fun of it.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's just
like you
one of
said,
those
a
things.
good hobby to be into, because to me, that's
Hmm.
kinda what this is for me too. It's a hobby, and it's
Right.
fun, but it's like, it's not my career, but, you know
Right.
still, I enjoy it enough that I continue to do it and will put effort into it, so there you go.
Hmm.
So that's, I guess that's how you got onto Good Morning Xbox, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Alright. So, how did the Gaming Beyond the Box, how'd that come about?
That came about kind of the same way because I will watch those guys at night, especially more when the pandemic hit. Because
Mhm.
I would I'd be playing drums on a Wednesday night, and I would be lurking in the chat, goofing off with everybody else, and and Wilmy was like, "Hey man, you want to be on the podcast?" I said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be on." And this might have been, I don't know, maybe a month or so after I started with Good Morning Xbox. I think we only did like 2 or 3 shows
Wow.
at the time, and
Nice.
he asked did I want him, and I don't even think he saw any of the shows. I think he thought I was already podcasting at the time,
Right.
and he was seeing me in the chat because when I got on there, he's like, "Oh, you're already you're." He's like, "If I'd known you were doing this, I would have said something to you earlier about being on there." So um, it was good goofing off and having fun and talking about gaming and different subjects, and I kind of like it too because it's more of you just having a good time with your buddies because we go way off topic and then we end up coming back. And
Sometimes.
I always
Yeah.
laugh because if we get through our intros and maybe about 20 minutes, that's a good day. Since The Last of Us has started, we have been really good to make sure that we're done before the show starts. But yeah, because everybody would talk about what they played or
Mhm.
what happened during the week, and it might be 6, 7 of us, sometimes 8, 10. I've been
Yeah.
on there. I think it was 12 of us before, all on one.
Wow.
And so you got to learn real quick, how not to overtalk everybody. Or if you have a point, it's almost like double dutch, when to
Yeah.
jump in
Get
to
in,
make
get out.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause if you just sit there and wait your turn, you'll never get a word in. So,
Very
that
true.
was awesome. So, once the pandemic, as far as kind of died down, as
Yeah.
far as they opening everything back up,
Yeah.
back opening to play drums and different things of that nature, I couldn't do Wednesday nights anymore. Um, and then we had about a good year where Wilmy was really sick.
Yeah.
Um, Back to back stuff and then dealing with COVID, other things of
Yeah.
that nature. So there wasn't any podcasting on the show for maybe about a year
Mhm.
almost, at least about 10 to 11 months. So when he was back on the mend and ready to go, it just, with his work schedule and some of the other people's work schedules, making it hard to meet up on Wednesdays. That's where he got moved to Sundays, and that just worked out because then I was available to start doing it again. So,
Nice.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and you guys got good chemistry too. It's fun. You guys, like you said, sometimes you go off in different directions, but that's okay. 'Cause that's what
Yeah,
makes it
yeah,
fun, if
yeah,
they were all the same, what'd be the point in listening to
right,
individual podcasts if they all sounded the same? So it's
right. And Good Morning Xbox is definitely skewed and really pinpoint focused on Xbox.
mhm.
A Game Beyond the Box, we talk about all the different gaming consoles, PC, and we have people on the podcast that mainly are PC. You got people mainly PlayStation, mainly
Mhm.
Xbox. So, and it's all mushed in together, and everybody gets along. So that's
Yeah.
why I laugh at some of these people on Twitter. Is like, well, we have people who are diehard whichever way you want to look, and
Yeah.
we don't even have any arguments or stuff. It's just, man, we're just having fun. So if people
Yeah.
would just get over themselves sometimes, I think. But also, you don't make as much money if you're all about, hey, let's be friends and every console is cool, because with the algorithm and different things with YouTube,
Mhm.
controversy sells. And
It does.
yeah, well, it's good. We enjoy ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Um, that one, Good Morning Xbox, I drink coffee and
Yeah.
talk, and I'm a little bit more quiet. And Game Beyond the Box, I'm usually drinking some whiskey or something, so sometimes I
A
get a little bit louder.
little
But
looser.
yeah, it's all fun. It's all
Yeah,
good
yeah.
fun.
Was it Scrub Nurse After Dark? That's it.
There you go.
I like it. I like it. But and and when it comes down to it, no matter what console or from handhelds to arcades to PC to whatever, we're all doing the same thing, gaming. And
That's
that's,
right.
so as if you can get your groove on with gaming, however you can get your groove on, it's awesome.
Hmm.
So I dig
Hmm.
it. I dig it. All right. Well, let's kind of turn things just a and and let me say this too, that all your information, your Twitter, all the podcasts, everything around will be in the description. People can just click on that, both
Yeah.
in the YouTube channel and iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. If you're listening on those channels, please just click through the description and you will see links to Scrubnurse and the shows that he's on. So please don't forget to also like and subscribe those podcasts, as well as if you subscribe, which it's free to subscribe. Remember that, absolutely free. Then click on the little bell icon too. That way you're notified whenever those pop up. Because there'll be some Sunday mornings you'll get up and you're like, man, what do I need? Oh yeah, kick back, breakfast, get your breakfast going with some Xbox. Yeah, it's nice. It really is. It's a good way to wake up. I'll tell you that. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the current gaming going
Yeah.
on. What is your, I guess, I mean, obviously there's the ABK deal. There's so many games coming out, and this is going to be
Hmm.
a big year for gaming. So what is out there going on? That's like what's like the forefront of your I guess on your mind as far as gaming right now? Is it the deal or is it some other things?
Um, right now, what'll probably affect me the most is
Hmm.
we got some good games coming out. I know what in a couple of days we got something like Atomic Hearts coming out. We
Yeah,
just had Hogwarts, and that's been big. That's been getting a lot
yeah.
of fanfare. Um, the Harry Potter universe is not something that's really big on me. I missed it.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know, when it came out, I guess I was a little bit too old, and I just not even too old, but it's just like these little kids. When it first started out, all those actors were just so young, and
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know about all this. Never read any of the books, so they kind of passed me by. So,
Hmm.
but and plus it's an RPG. It's a little bit bigger. I'm excited for the folks that have it. So, but it hadn't been on my radar.
Right.
Maybe the FOMO will get to me later on, and I'll jump on
Maybe.
it. But for right now, no. But I'm looking at the ABK deal for different things as far as Call of Duty. How's that going to affect me with Call of Duty? Probably won't
Right.
affect me at all. But anytime when games or companies change hands, you want to think of as a consumer, how is this going to affect me? So
Right.
those that I've been keeping my eye on that more of anything, because if I don't play anything in a whole year, I know at some point I'm gonna be playing Call of Duty.
Right.
First day I'm gonna be playing the beta. You know, the beta's exclusive to PlayStation. All right, so then I'm on PlayStation for a week
Hmm.
playing the beta. Whenever it comes to Xbox, I play it on there, and
Hmm.
then whenever the game pops out, so I definitely look at those things. Um, but there's so many things that's coming out. Starfield, I want to see what it's like,
Yeah.
even if I don't like it, even if it's not for me. It's just it's so expanse, and then it's such a moonshot for this company, but
Yes.
Bethesda wanting to be this type of game that you're going to be like, "Well, where were you when this game came out?" Or
Yeah.
like, a game where it just impacts you so much that everybody's walking around with, their little tattoos of it. Like when
Yeah.
Halo or Gears of War
Mhm.
first came out, or things like The Last of Us, a Bioshock, Tomb Raider, things of that nature.
Iconic
I
games
think
for sure.
that's right. I think this is where Starfield has its heyday. And for everybody that listening, if I didn't call out your favorite game, trust me, I probably agree with you. It is an iconic game, but that's just what popped in my head right at the time. But
Yeah, exactly. So many choices.
yeah, there's so many things to go through. I'm gonna miss 100,000 of them. Um, but I do want to see how that goes. You know, can you go to all these different planets? What are the shooting mechanics are going to be? Are the choices going to mean something when you get to
Mhm.
these places? All the different factions. Certain things about the shipbuilding and hiring people to run your ship and help do all that stuff, does that really interest me? No, but I want to see. Also, like with Forza Motorsport, I
Yes.
want to see what fidelity, what performance you can get out of a console with this type of racing game. um, I know everybody's definitely been waiting on it to see what it's going to be like. I'm excited for it too. And I don't even like sim racing games.
Right.
I'm the more of the arcade game. So I like
Same
the
here.
Need for Speed. I like the Horizon games. Those are more my type of land. The Hot Wheels games. Um, I don't want to have to spend 30 minutes for each race to check the tire pressure, to put this on the engine. It's raining, so I'm gonna have to change this to this to this. For the
Yep.
people who love it, hey, that's right up here. But that's just not me. But I still want to see, as far as I don't want to play the online as far as racing other folks, but I know that they'll have that kind of campaign mode where you're
Mm.
a racer and you're going through the circuits, and I guess trying to get your different licenses to do this racing circuit and this of that nature. That's what I'm interested for, and it's really exciting. I want to see how the time and the weather changes, and
Right.
everything we've seen so far. I think it's just been beautiful, and you'll never really get the full extent because we're watching it all condensed. Even though it says 4K on a YouTube
Right.
channel, it's not going to be what it is when you actually get the game in front of you. So I'm excited about that. Game like Hi-Fi Rush,
Wow.
something that nobody really even knew about.
Mhm.
And I laugh because some people say, "Oh, I don't like rhythm games," but then they go, "Man, I wish they'd do another Rock Band or Guitar Hero."
Right.
Like it's the
Exactly.
same thing. But I, I I didn't think it was going to be a game that I liked so much. I figured this would be a fun game,
Mhm.
but for them to blend the gameplay and all the different genres together is exciting. Have you had a chance to play it
Oh,
or think
yes.
about playing? Oh,
I
okay.
do like it. Now let
And
me ask you, as being a drummer like
mhm,
myself, does that kinda
it
do
threw me
you
off.
did it? Same with me. When I first
The
started, I was like,
first
"Wait a minute,
hour,
what?"
because it's like you are doing everything on the upbeat. It's not on the downbeat.
Yeah.
Like you're not starting with the one, you're doing everything on the two. And
Yep.
I'm sorry for people who don't the one, you're starting with the kick.
Mhm.
But everything he's doing is what the snare hits, which is usually, if you're doing a 4/4 beat time, and you kick is one, and your snare is two. So it's
Yep.
boom, clack, boom, clack. So I'm
Exactly. Yep.
thinking of fighting. At the very first, I kept thinking the one. So on the boom, I was trying to hit it and it wasn't working. And I had to realize, wait a beat and go
Yep.
for the clack. And then and once I figured that, after about a good 5-10 minutes, while I kept missing, I was like, okay, it's on the two. I got it now. I got
Well,
it.
I'm glad
And
I'm not the only one.
oh yeah, it threw
Throwing on
my
the drummer?
brain.
right there with
It threw my brain off so bad, but yeah,
you.
I got it. Once I figured it out, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It was a great surprise in game and how all of that came together. All those different genres. You got fighting with your friends to come help you, kind of like a Guardian of the Galaxy. You had
Hmm.
your kind of boss fights, which it wasn't like so hard like it was a Souls game. You can go to a difficulty where it would be like that, but
Yeah.
it kind of gives you the anime goodness and cartoon um, comedy like a Sunset Overdrive or anime that you will watch on TV. The time fighting mechanics, and then you could chain your combos together. Then you add platforming in the game. All those different things coming together. I just thought that was awesome. That's one of my best games so far this year that I played.
I'll
First
agree
one
with
that
you.
I beat, and then the replayability afterwards that you can go back with
Hmm.
all your characters, start from the beginning, all your stuff that you accumulated, and you have game plus. You
Yeah.
change your outfits and go to these different areas you weren't accessible to you before. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll agree with that 100%. It would because whenever you first started and you're like, okay, you get the rhythm thing and you start doing it, and then it's like kind of like, well, wait, is this a side scroller? What's going on? Kind of
Oh yeah, yeah. When it
some
went to
things
side scroller,
change. Yeah, and
that's
so,
right. Yeah,
but it's not like I don't know. They put it in there a nice balance to where it kept you either on your toes or
gave you just
fresh.
enough. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
So, oh, I love it, man. That's great. That's great. All right, cool.
hmm
So I
I'm
guess
def
go ahead.
Yeah, go. I was like, and of course, I'm definitely waiting to hear what the new plan is for Call of Duty because the rumors
Yeah.
are they're gonna have if they're gonna actually do actual storyline or DLC or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
And because they were saying we're going to wait 2 years and then come out with the next one. So there's been a lot of rumors. It's just going to be an extended story. Modern Warfare 2 is going to turn around and be a Modern Warfare 3. So it's a bunch of things that I'm interested in. I like the competitive nature games because it gives you that same feeling of you and your buddies um, on the basketball court talking
Yeah.
trash
Yeah.
and compete. Like I said, if I go out there play basketball right now, I try to do one layup, I might pull a hamstring. But I can sit in a chair with a drink and talk with my friends from across the country and
Yeah.
maybe even across the world. We get together and that's what we do to catch up. Not
Mhm.
call them on the phone and say, "Hey, man, I'm just checking in." We all go message up, hey, we're going to meet, and then we'll play games and we'll talk about life and kids and family and ask how
Yeah.
everybody's doing. So I think I'll always be tied to that more than anything because community with my own personal friends, not counting everybody else that you end up running to, which is fun as
Right.
well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, exactly. It is a good way, like you said, to keep up and to keep in touch, instead of, I mean, obviously there'll be times when, a one-on-one conversation on the phone is important for whatever reason, but to
Right,
just want
right.
to be like a community or family or a sitting around the dinner table, but you're thousands of miles away from each other. Best way to
hmm
do it. Jump in the game, talk a little smack, have a little fun.
Oh yeah, definitely,
That's great.
definitely.
That's great. That's great. All right, so let's as we start to wrap things up, if you don't mind,
hmm
let's maybe get into and you can give me more than one because everybody does. I'll just say that right now. But what
Oh, well,
is
then I
the
probably will too. Okay.
what is the most anticipated in your mind for you game
hmm
coming out that's not out yet but has been announced? So,
For the rest of
yeah, for rest of this year. Yeah.
this year only. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Or in your other one could be further out. How's that?
yeah, I'll throw a further one out then. Well,
Perfect.
like I said, even though it might not be for me at all, it has to be Starfield. It
Yeah.
has to be Starfield. To see what they'll be able to bring to Xbox as far as the anticipation, which
Mhm.
sometimes I don't want to tamp anybody's expectation. If you're hyped for a game, be hyped for it. I know Cyberpunk, I was waiting for it for 7, 8 years, and then it came out like it did, and I played it for a couple hours, and I just sat it down until they came with the update. Cause I'm like, I'll wait another whatever, but this is the game I've been wanting to put my teeth into, and even though it's frustrating, I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of the hype and for CD Projekt Red, as far as the business pushing the developers to push the game out early, kind of destroyed it. I
Yeah,
hope this is not the situation that helps happens with Starfield, but it's definitely what I want to see. I don't want it to be a No Man's Sky, and I don't think it will be.
right.
Um, but at the same time, I don't want a lot of times when you wait so long, you have so many anticipations for a game, like you do with the Marvel movies. The longer
Mm,
the Marvel movies come out and you're a Marvel fan, what does everybody do? They start going on online and saying what they think is going to be in the movie. And
yeah,
then by the time it comes out 2 years later, the stuff that they thought was going to be in the movie didn't make it in, then they get disappointed.
yeah,
So I hope we don't do that for this one, but Starfield will be that game for me that this year that I really want to see what that comes out. If we want to reach out, which you never know with games that aren't announced dates, you never know how long it'll take. But
sure.
I really want to see what Playground Games is going to do with Fable.
Nice. Yeah,
Uh, like I said, there's a few games that will ever get me to play an RPG. It's hard because of the time, not a time suck, but you get so inundated into the
right.
game for hours, and then once you go sit down or you finally look at your watch and you realize it's 1 o'clock the next day, you're like, I can't wait till I start it back up again. So
Yeah.
um and I love that, especially 1 and 2 Fable. I just love those games. Me and my friends would sit there and play those all the time, and being able to see how your character changes depending on your choices, depending on the things you do, and the humor that was in it. For them to bring the game back and not be a remake or a remaster, as we've been getting with a lot of different games
Hmm.
lately, I do want to see how that's going to turn out. So yeah, I probably say after Starfield, probably Fable, but there's a lot of different stuff out there. Spider-Man 2 coming out.
Yep.
Eventually, you got your Wolverine game,
Yep.
which we know nothing about, but of course, a Wolverine game who would pass that up. And
Exactly.
then, you know, E3 coming in, what I would like Xbox to do is kind of what they did this time. We're gonna give you 12 months and then maybe a surprise or something. So like I said, all the anticipation of what's coming out next,
Yeah.
you can kind of tamp some of that down because I still want to see what Hellblade 2 is. So
Oh
I
yeah.
gave you more than one extra. I gave you too
You
many
did.
extra, but there's so
No, that's
many. But
fine. That's
yeah.
fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm right there with you because,
Mhm.
like I said, it is hard to choose just one. So
Right, right.
that's why I'm loose with that. But it's
Hmm.
it's such a, I guess, a Pong Soul. I don't know if you're familiar with him or
Yes,
not.
yes. I know who he is. Hmm.
His line, "This is the golden age of gaming," it
Of
just feels
course,
like it
yes.
is so true, and it's like,
Hmm.
to refer to him on several podcasts because it's just, man, there's so many great things coming out to look forward to, and
Technology is finally catching up to our imaginations.
amen.
Hmm.
Very well said. Scrubners, thank you so much for being on here today, man. It has been absolute pleasure to interview you, and I've
Oh,
enjoyed it.
thank
And
you.
oh man, it's been great, and all my pleasure. I'll tell you that right now. So, if you don't mind, tell everybody what times your shows that you're on are available, and even though they'll be in
Hmm.
the description, that way just kind of gets
Yeah,
it in their head.
I'll have to make sure because I do this all the time since I'm Central Time. I mess up Central and Eastern, but
That's
Morning
okay.
Xbox is going to be on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 8 and 9 a.m., 8 a.m. Central Time. So 9 Eastern Standard Time,
Mhm.
8 Standard Time. And
Yep.
then Gaming Beyond the Box, that's going to be on Sunday also on the evening. So that's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Time.
Right. All right. Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you
come
so
check
much,
us out.
Scribners. I love it, man. I definitely everybody needs to go check it out. Click on the links below. Figure out what's good for you, and if for some reason you can't watch live, you're always going to be able to watch the replay,
Replay.
and it is
Please do.
worth it. Make it your
Mhm.
convenience if you have to, but definitely don't miss them. Scribners, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody
Thank
for
you.
joining us here at Outbreak Gamers.